U.S. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford, who accused him of sexual misconduct, testified for more than 8 hours in an often wrenching hearing that highlighted and exposed many of the United Nations' raw divisions. Now, according to Ford, Kavanaugh groped her and tried to remove her clothing at a party in 1982. Kavanaugh, who was nominated by President Donald Trump in July, denied the allegations, calling them a smear campaign. One year after a failed bid for independence, Iraq's Kurds will be voting again on Sunday, this time in a parliamentary election that could disrupt the delicate balance of power in their semi-autonomous region. The region's politics have been dominated by a coalition between the pro-independence Kurdistan Democratic Party and the left-leaning Patriotic Union of Kurdistan for more than 3 decades. Macedonian President George Ivanov called for voters to boycott this weekend's referendum on a name change, saying the country was being asked to commit historical suicide. Macedonians will vote on Sunday on whether to add North to their country's official name in an effort to overcome a 27-year-old argument with neighboring Greece. Athens has refused to recognize Macedonia's name since the Balkan country declared independence from Yugoslavia in 1991, arguing it belongs solely to its northern province called Macedonia. China urged the United States to stop uttering words and deeds that are harmful to Sino-US relations and the fundamental interest of the two countries' people. The request was made by China Foreign Ministry spokesperson at a daily news briefing when responding to a question regarding allegations that China is attempting to interfere in the 2018 midterm US elections. China and the United States have been in a trade row since the beginning of 2018. The UN Human Rights Council voted in favor of establishing a body to prepare evidence of human rights abuses in Myanmar, including possible genocide, for any future prosecution. The 47-member council voted by 35 votes to 3, with 7 abstentions, in favor of a resolution brought by the European Union and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. China, the Philippines and Burundi voted against the move, whose backers said was supported by more than 100 countries. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu claimed that Iran has a secret nuclear facility and warehouse in Tehran, but offered no proof of the claim or the details, holding up a poster board map of an area near Tehran before world leaders at the UN General Assembly. Netanyahu said Iranian officials were keeping tons of nuclear equipment and materials in a warehouse near a rug cleaning operation. Canada's parliament voted unanimously to effectively strip Myanmar leader Aung San Suu Kyi of her honorary Canadian citizenship over the Rohingya crisis. The support from all parties in the House of Commons came a day after Prime Minister Justin Trudeau suggested the question was one for Parliament to resolve. The Canadian Parliament last week unanimously voted to call the killings of Rohingya a genocide. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has called the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's allegations of fraud unjustified and said that he acted in the best interest of investors. The SEC sued Musk on Thursday, alleging the billionaire CEO made false and misleading statements surrounding an August 7 tweet. In August, Musk tweeted that he was considering taking Tesla private, adding funding secured. The SEC complaint alleges that Musk made that claim knowing it was false and without the input of other Tesla executives.
A electric car.
About 100 people protested against embattled Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in front of the United Nations, a day after Maduro showed up unexpectedly at the UN Assembly on Wednesday. Maduro said that he was defending his country as 6 nations accused him of crimes against humanity, and US President Donald Trump hinted at taking military action. The surprise visit came after Maduro threatened to skip the global gathering, citing fears he could be assassinated. Hundreds of drivers for ride-hailing services Uber and Cabify marched down central Madrid Avenue to protest plans by the Spanish government to tighten regulations. The demonstrators chanted, "Let us work." The protesters were accompanied by 40 cars with tinted windows to the Public Works Ministry. Nearly 1,300 people took part in the demonstration. The protest comes a day after both ride-hailing services offered one free trip per customer in Spain in an attempt to raise awareness of a months-long, sometimes violent row that has pitted them against taxis. Thousands of flag-waving evangelical Christians from dozens of countries marched in Jerusalem as part of an annual religious celebration that are also a show of support for Israel. The parade was festooned with Israeli flags, as well as those of the native countries of the marchers, and many of who also wore their traditional national garb. According to officials, over 7,000 people participated in the march. Gale force winds battered Greece, forcing authorities to shut down many ferries and schools and causing flight delays as meteorologists warn about the possibility of a cyclone in the Ionian Sea. The strong winds toppled trees into power lines in the northern suburbs of Athens, with the fire department saying it received more than 350 calls to remove debris. The storm is expected to hit islands in the Ionian Sea to the southwest of the Greek mainland today. Chief Minister of Indian state of Himachal Pradesh, Jairam Thakur, said that 858 people stuck in snow have been rescued by administration and the Indian Air Force. The tourists have been stranded in mountainous regions of the hills state for days. Thakur said that the rescue operations would continue due to heavy snowfall in Rohtang Pass. Tourist hubs like Lahore and Spiti Valley have been cut off, which has left a number of tourists stranded at a number of isolated locations. India's External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj attended the customary BRICS foreign ministers meeting on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly session and exchanged views on matters of global political, economic and security significance. BRICS is an association of 5 major emerging national economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. During the meet, Sushma Swaraj was also briefed on preparations for the upcoming BRICS chairmanship of Brazil for 2019. Iran's Foreign Affairs Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif said that India is committed to continuing economic cooperation and the import of oil from Iran. Zarif made the comments after a meeting with his Indian counterpart Sushma Swaraj in New York on the sidelines of United Nations Assembly. US President Donald Trump is due to renew sanctions against Iran from November 4th to halt the OPEC member nation's oil exports. The Indian Apex Court is likely to pronounce its verdict on petitions to lift the centuries-old prohibition on women who are menstruating entering the Sabrimala temple in Kerala. A 5-judge bench led by Chief Justice of Deepak Mishra will deliver the judgment. The court had heard arguments on the case and reserved its order on the issue on August 2, 2018. Hearing in India's longest dispute, the Ayodhya temple case, has been speeded up ahead of the 2019 elections. India's apex court has refused to refer to a larger constitution bench, which was a 1994 ruling on whether mosque is integral to Islam. Daily hearings in Ayodhya case will begin from October 29th. The largest and finest fancy vivid pink diamond ever offered at auction by Christie's, it's about to go under the hammer in Geneva, with experts expecting it to fetch a record price of $50 million. Named the Pink Legacy, diamond is made up of an extraordinary 18.69 carats and has been classified as fancy vivid pink in color. The diamond is on display in London this week ahead of ongoing auction in Geneva on November 13th. An exhibit featuring an ancient Maya pictographic text which sheds new light on the Mayan civilization opened for viewing at Mexico City. According to Mexico's National Anthropology and History Institute, the calendar-style text known as the Mexico Maya legible pre-Hispanic document on the American continent made between 1021 and 1154 AD.